Today's episode of Todos Toman podcast is sponsored by Milpa Milpa. Milpa Milpa is a handcrafted candle and soap brand inspired by the meeting of Mexican roots and Midwestern craftsmanship. Inspired by the earth, guided by culture, and made for everyday moments. Everything is made with care, using natural ingredients and clean fragrances, meant to slow you down, bring a sense of calm, presence, and connection into your space. If you want to bring those scents into your home, make sure to visit milpamilpa.com or follow them on Instagram at milpamilpa LLC. Let them know you heard about them through Todos Toman podcast. Welcome back to another episode of the Todos Toman podcast. Why does it feel like it's been forever since we last recorded?
Damn, for real.
I think ha sido almost 2 weeks, right? Because we had the live.
Do we say? Oh, that's right. Okay, so we do say Happy New Year, right? Last time we recorded was the live on the 31st.
Yeah, it was last year. Yep,
or the 30th.
30th.
Yeah. Welcome to 2026, muchachos.
2026. ¿Sí?
Ya casi medio mes, ¿no? Pero
literally.
Dude, all I gotta say is like I like how we almost got both sides of Bad Bunny, dude, with those two intros, dude. With Milpa and then after that Todos Toman intro, dude, I was like, ooh,
yeah, salir, ¿no?
Dude, Rome ya está listo, dude, for Super Bowl, dude.
Dude, I don't know whether to wait my turn for ¿cómo se llama? Start podcasting o empezar a perrear, ¿no? Cuando escucho la canción.
Facts, dude.
Con razón, ¿ves? Con razón tiene que apagarle el calentón al exhalado, dude, porque pues también
He doesn't know.
Yeah, dude.
También se puede calentar.
Se puede calentar, dude, you know, like, he's like, se va a calentar suficiente con la música, dude, ¿para qué más?
Oh, yeah.
Sí, no, yeah.
Chicos,
ahorita está todo
Happy New Year's. Y sí, le hice de comer, ¿no?
Sí, le hice de comer ahorita antes de que empezáramos porque I've been feeling overnight ahorita que he estado llegando tarde del trabajo. Y pues también que se ponga a dieta, es año nuevo. Tiene que tener un good shape, dude.
Let him fast, dude. Let him fast.
Yeah.
Chicos, happy 2026. I start off with our favorite thing que están tomando. I'll start off, dude. Porque ya ven como I'm a little boring, dude. I'm a little boring. Ya saben. The classic, dude.
You're consistent, dude. I mean,
classic, dude.
At this point, Pacifico, if you're listening.
If you're listening. Yeah, dude, I got a little 3-pack before getting home from work. Y ya, this one I'm halfway porque lo estaba esperando. Llegué a tiempo. And,
nos estabas esperando, pero no nos esperaste, ¿no? A la misma vez.
That's true.
Oh.
So can I really say that?
You were ahead of the game.
That's true.
You were ahead, dude, just like the Packers were ahead in the first 3 quarters.
Oof, it's very that was hard. That was hard to watch, dude, but very true. Tank, what are you watching, no?
What are you watching?
What are you drinking, dude?
Pues aparte de watching the Bears win, dude, estoy tomando
Wellers, dude. Míralo.
Damn, dude.
Wellers, míralo. Con todo.
Miguel que no se ha llevado las botellas de su casa, ¿no?
No, dude, it's actually me la regaló Romero last Christmas. And I still have it around, dude.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Was it for the exchange? Because we didn't have an exchange this year. Acuérdense.
We did not, dude.
It's fucked up.
Todo lo invertimos en nuestros suéteres, ¿no, muchachos?
Dude, Tank, you should have been like, oh, no, es la botella que dejó Miguel que había dicho que te la iba a regalar.
Oh, real, dude. La tiene bien guardadita el Miguel, dude. No worries. I'm happy with that.
¿No?
Nah, Miguel, what you got?
So Jack Daniel's single barrel. I think it's the one I've been drinking. It's almost 130 proof.
Still gonna try that shit, dude.
Yeah, it's 129.5, 64% alcohol, almost 65. So, eso just sin hielo, sin nada, dude, así simple, dude. Hot whiskey, dude, para estar como el exhalado, dude.
En calentito. Wow, I fuck with them.
Yo me quiero.
You guys with whiskey?
Pinky, dude.
What about you, Rom? ¿Todavía te duele? You still
Is
kind of
it?
fucked up? Damn. Ya nunca regresaste, ¿no? For sure. You were meant to be retired, ¿no?
No. Sí, se va a regresar la próxima temporada, dude.
Qué bueno.
Yeah.
What you drinking, dude?
Pero I got
Oh,
Ultras,
shit.
pure gold.
Dude, I haven't had those in a long fucking time. They're really good, though.
So, they're good. Pero
But,
me la tengo que tomar en vasito.
¿y eso?
Y en la lata como que no me sale muy bien. Dude, y
O sea-
lo que pasó es de que los compré for New Year's. Dije, ya empezando el año, I'm gonna cut down on my carbs y la chingada. Dude, I drank maybe like, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 the day, like maybe the second or the third.
Mhm.
Dude, the next day I woke up with a hangover.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
Ooh. Hold on. Clap, everybody, clap. You know,
Time for you to retire, dude, for sure.
we gotta celebrate any time that rum gets hangover.
Days
Fuck yeah, dude.
Days earlier, I had drank a 12-pack of Modelos y desperté como si nada. Pero me tomé 3 de estas.
That's
Yes.
it.
De cabeza, dude.
What do you think it was, dude? The withdrawal to the Modelos or what?
The withdrawal to the calories, ¿no?
Sí, güey. ¿The actual carbs o qué pedo?
El
¿Quién
cuerpo
sabe,
pedía
dude?
los carbs, ¿no?
Sí.
O sea, a ver cómo amanezco mañana, dude, porque tengo que ir al trabajo. So.
Keep us informed, dude. You literally just have 3, ¿no? Porque, like, just in case, I'm not gonna overdo it. You have 3 because ya ves cómo amaneces.
No, nada más tiene 2, dude. Nada más tiene 2, dude.
Y acá
That's true.
tengo 2.
Sorry, dude. Cheers,
va.
guys, ¿no?
Salud,
Happy-
muchachos.
Happy 2026. Not so happy for me, pero
Dude, so I
Why
do
not,
gotta
dude?
say, yeah. Primero, antes que nada, dude, why is it not happy for you, dude?
for obvious reasons, dude. You know, I was.
It's not really obvious, you know. For our listeners, it's not obvious.
Oh yeah, for a lot of listeners, dude. For 20 people, they know me.
The hundreds of
pretty well.
listeners that are going to be
The millions and
hearing
millions.
this, dude.
Dude, as everybody knows, I'm from Chicago, but I'm not a Bears fan. I'm a Green Bay fan, and unfortunately, the Packers choked. Dude, luckily for me, there's no like Bears fans here, nada de eso, you know. Besides my he's a Bears fan.
Yeah, hasta your mic cut out, dude.
¿Did
It
it?
did, dude. It
Para
did
que
cut
veas
off.
de lo triste que estoy, dude.
Dice hecho en Chicago, ¿no?
But yeah, no, it was a good game. They did choke, and it is what it is, dude. It is what it is at this point. Yeah, I was upset. I wasn't sad or not. I was upset. I remember sitting there. Yeah, people had left because people came over to watch the game. Then I was just sitting there, and I had maybe like 2-3 beers left. And then my girl goes and she saw that I was upset, so she goes and hugs me. She's like, "It's fine." I was like, "No, I know." Like I was like, "Damn, am I making it that big of a deal?" Like to myself, I'm thinking about like for her to go and like hug me and everything. But and I told her, I was like, "Hey, take me to the gas station for a 3-pack." And she's like, "Let's go." She's like, I'll drink something with you." So we went. I bought a 3-pack. She bought a beatbox. And then we were just chilling, dude, and then randomly people
Cuando
came
entró a la
over
casa,
again.
le quitó las agujetas de los zapatos.
Sí, dude, just
Fui
in case,
descalzo,
¿no?
no? We just came back and then we had more people come over and nos amanecimos hasta las 4 de la mañana, which I'm not up for that
Ay.
anymore. Yeah, no, that's rough, dude, at this time of age. But it was a good game. I watched football on Sunday. Barcelona did win on Sunday, so it made
Barcelona
things a
did
little
beat
bit.
Madrid, yeah.
It was a good game too. That was a good game as
It
well.
was a good game too, yes.
We'll play for Madrid. I can't even talk shit, pero Barcelona won, so I made things a little bit better. I was hoping, though. I'll tell you this just so we can stop talking about sports, that Pittsburgh was gonna win today to hopefully face the Bears in
In the
Super Bowl. And then Aaron
so
Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers la pueda ganar.
I saw that theory somewhere. I was like, oh my god. Dude, that would have been perfect. Dude. Pero bueno, en fin. The fucking Steelers are out today, so
yeah. They go like so. Before we jump out of sports, I gotta say, like, you know, I guess the result didn't like. Aparte del resultado, right? Like, one thing I do appreciate about the new Packers and Bears games is the rivalry has like ya otra vez está hasta donde estaba, no? Like, and it goes not just between the fans, but even the coaches themselves. Like, they have this rivalry, this hate for each other and the organizations. So it's good to see porque like I feel like a lot of rivalries they've been watered down. America Chivas, yeah, like oh, it only lives on in the fans, pero en los jugadores ya no se ve like the rivalry como antes.
Yeah, como un Cuauhtémoc Blanco contra
Bofo.
Reynoso en la
Contra
defensa.
Reynoso, Bofo, or like Pavel Pardo, like you just don't
That's a
see
good
that
point, dude.
rivalry anymore. So like obviously, like
I mean, Cuauhtémoc's been carrying that rivalry en las canchitas donde anda jugando ahorita.
Oh, that motherfucker.
Anda soltando por todos lados, güey.
Yeah, they'll play friendlies against Chivas, and yeah, he
oh
still goes
yeah,
hard, dude.
I've seen him and Reynoso like when they played together.
Yeah,
they still keep that alive. But yeah, it's good to see. It's good to see because I believe that it's considered the biggest rivalry in football, right, of the NFL. So
yes, yeah.
So
it's a
cool to see.
Barcelona Real Madrid type thing. But even then, you made a good point. Like Real Madrid Barcelona is still a clásico. They're still like they hate each other in a way that we know about. Pero you're right. The Bears Packers have taken their rivalry to like another level, and I like that. I really enjoyed it as a fan. I like it. And dude, I mean, obviously, I can't wait for next season porque this season ya no va a suceder mucho.
I'm sure next season los Packers van a venir con ganas, dude, con ganas.
Yeah, of course. It's literally one of those things cuando, dude, because I'll tell you this, and I've said it before to a lot of people, the Packers were not going to win the Super Bowl. I just wanted them to get past the Bears because it's the Bears, right? That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
And I feel like
that's
as a
what
fan,
everybody wants, yeah.
Right. As if I flip it, you guys would have probably like, okay, I don't know how you guys feel if you guys think the Bears are going to go all the way. But even if they didn't, as long as they beat the Packers, you're like, okay, successful last season. I think we did what we had to do, and we got the Packers out.
So, nosotros como Bears fans somos como Don Felipe, ¿no? Going with Mexico all the way que va a ganar el Mundial every year, dude. Así estamos ahorita, ¿no?
No fucking lie, dude. Dude, Don Felipe had me looking for Luis Miguel tickets right now, dude.
Oh,
I swear to God, Romero was like, "Oh, my dad said."
I told him like my dad acaba de decir que Luis Miguel ya sacó fechas para el 2026, and right away Jonathan started looking it up. He's like, I don't find anything. I'm like, low key, dude. Maybe my subconscious, because it was my dad telling me, didn't even make an effort to look it up.
Yeah. Dude, I swear, I started looking like tour 2026, late 2026, December,
maybe 2027. No,
yeah, no. Nada, pero it is Don Felipe, dude. So I was like, damn, he got my ass. From far, he got my ass.
Somebody introduced AI to that man, and
oh shit, no.
You should see him on the family chats.
I've
dude.
seen him, dude. I see. Oh man, I've seen the pictures.
I see the Facebook pictures, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
and
I imagine the internal conversations, no, like within them,
the behind the scenes, no,
literally behind the scenes. That's funny.
He's something else, man.
Pero bueno, chicos, let's get going. We have a pretty good topic today. It's a topic that I feel we could all, including Tank, I guess, relate and have an opinion towards it. But the topic today is: are we raising kids or are we reparenting ourselves? Right. And when I was talking to Romero last week, we were talking about because he came up with fire ass topics también. And Omega, he still have some ones that we could still go through. And then I was like, dude, that hits kind of hard porque it's something where sometimes you just, again, as parents, and I know Tank raised chiquis as well with Miguel, but we try to do and we think that we're doing the best that we can, I guess, at that point, but not knowing that maybe it could have an effect on them in the future, right? Dude, that is a topic for today. What do you guys think? How do you guys feel?
Dude, growing up, siempre escuchabas, like, or even now, my mom siempre dice, like, oh, I'm sorry, like, especially with Miguel, like, I'm sorry, like, no sabía lo que estaba haciendo, like, parenting was something new to me, y eso. And yeah, dude, like, I feel like, especially with the oldest kids, that's the sentiment, no? De que, like, y lo digo porque, por ejemplo, like, I look back now with chiquis, como dices, and it's like, damn, like, we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. We were just kind of like parenting as we were going. And obviously now, like, I'm assuming, with the second, the third, y así, like you learn certain things o ya no haces ciertas cosas. Y so yeah, I think um también at the same time, como dices, you are kind of trying to break, certain um
Cycle.
yeah, certain cycles, and I've said it before, where it's like, por ejemplo, with us, like, por decir, we would say, we could tell our story and be like, damn, like, pues, not that you had it rough, pero, pues, o sea, like, your mom was strict, but then hearing the stories of, like, my grandma, como era con mi mom, I was like, damn, like, my mom was, like, really watered down compared to my grandma. But
Mm-hmm.
then hearing the stories of my grandma, how her mom was with her, it was like,
Yeah,
fuck,
a
dude. Like,
360 otra vez.
right, porque, like, por ejemplo, mi abuelita nos decía that su mom, like, le decía, like, like, obviously, like, back in the day, it's like, oh, tienes que ir a traer agua from whatever, del río, lo que fuera.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, she was like, que le decía, like, you know, allá tú, ¿a qué horas vayas a ir? If it's dark, I'm still gonna send you out and fucking get that water and shit.
God damn.
Y pues que se ponía a jugar y todo. Y sure enough, se lo olvidaba. And like her mom was like, no, like, you're going out in the fucking woods and getting that water. Like, I don't give a fuck, Y
Damn.
so it's just like that, like empiezas to try to break cycles y eso. And maybe like your kids think that they had it rough or whatever.
Man, when they grow up, they'll have like stories like the ones we're telling about our parents type thing.
Right, exactly. So yeah, it's the
That's crazy because I know that's a good point that you made. No, like in this case, I know Romero talks a lot about that till today. He's the oldest, and out of three siblings or two siblings that he has, and then well, Miguel obviously también being the oldest. But there's this thing that I know I've heard my girl say before that in this case now, if you see the way your mom treats Chiquis or la señora Pati treats Romero's kids is way different than what it was, right? And I see it with my suegra because my girl will talk to me about my suegra. It's like, oh, she was really tough. Like, when we set up the table, like the fork and the spoon had to be like in a certain like position in a certain way. And now I see her with my kids, and she's super chill. She doesn't care if like they leave a mess. Like it's just complete again a 360. But she was saying that possibly now she didn't know how to be a mom, right? She didn't know. She did whatever she could, but now she's learning how to be a grandmother. Pero eso es raro, ¿no? Como todo te cambia. Like your beliefs, the way you're supposed to do things, they change with your grandkids. What do you guys feel? It's like that.
Yeah. So they were like, so I've seen aparte like for like my dad or my mom being grandparents now, right? And I'm sure something that Tank has seen is so my dad has we do have another brother. My dad has a 7 year old now.
I think 7. Yeah,
Yes, 7 year old. And the change between how my dad was con nosotros and like, with how he is with Aaron now, it is very, very different. And so we see that change with my dad from being father to grandfather con chiquis, and then even now being, the dad we knew and how he was and the dad he is now. It's it is very different. And I like como dijiste tú, like with my mom, I remember una vez Chiquis was over at my mom's house and she was, acting up and no le hacía caso, and my mom called Tank pretty much crying, like, de ya desesperación, like, hey, Benny, come and pick her up porque no hace caso, like, I can't get her to listen. And Tank's like, this would not have fly with us. With us, no hubiera dado una chinga, like
You're gonna
we
listen
would have
because you're
been like,
gonna listen.
yeah, right.
yeah,
And it's like,
Yeah.
now you're telling me that like you can't even like tell her like, hey, calm down. So Tank had to go all the way to Berwyn to pick her up, right? Porque like my mom was like, I just no puedo, like I just don't know how to do
She's
it
too much.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, what the hell? Like it's like, where is donde está esa fiera, no, que estaba antes, no? Like where is that person, but I think over the years people tend to soften up, and you realize you learn, you change the way you are, And I'm sure that's gonna happen to us when we become grandparents. I mean,
What do you think, Criminal?
There's so many layers, and it just like I know we when we met last week to kind of talk about the topic is like this one definitely that had a lot that we can speak towards, but it's really becoming more relevant, right? Because as we think about how we were brought up, um, and we also give it some grace, right? Like I get it, like our parent, like just from our experience, right? That we're fortunate enough to have our parents and have their support to a certain extent. It's like there's no manual on how to be a parent. Like there's no way of really knowing if you're doing it the right way or not. Um, e- at the same time, it's like we're going based on what we know and what we experienced to the point where we're trying to change some of that. Not necessarily porque pensamos que nuestros papás no nos criaron con las mejores intenciones. Las intenciones estaban ahí, pero el no saber qué es lo que debes hacer en ciertos momentos, like, es lo que now, like, what I experience is like, do I find myself wanting to change how I was parented, or or what is it that's molding my parenting style, right? Porque if we really want to take it a little deeper, is you hear a lot about the gentle parenting, and people have mixed emotions or mixed feelings about it, mixed approaches. It's like, what do you mean gentle parenting? Like, se hace porque se hace y así dije que se iba a hacer, right? And it's like, well, now it's like you have a conversation with your kids. They people suggest that your tone of voice should be different, and figuring out what the right balance is and what feels right to you. But ultimately, like or what I'm learning is each kid is different. Not because the oldest or whatever. Yeah, the oldest might have it the roughest because you don't know exactly what you're doing.
Right.
But your approach to each kid is different, based on their needs. And maybe I'm saying that also because my oldest has, special needs, and the way I talk to her has to be different. And I'll share a little bit of just a little piece of a conversation that I had with Carla this weekend. Is like I'm finding myself in a place where I feel guilty for having so much patience with Itel, because she needs that in order for us to be able to communicate with her, right? Like she'll, you know, have it sounds like she's giving you a bad attitude, but it's just the way she's trying to express herself because she can't any other way. And like it takes a lot for me to just kind of stay calm and be patient and have conversations with her. But if my other kids try to do the same thing, I don't have the same amount of patience to them. And I'm like, why?
Right.
Right? Like I should be able to at least put a little more effort into having that patience because they see it. They see how I treat their sibling, and I'm pretty sure they see the contrast in how I treat them. And then I'm not saying that I'm treating them bad, but they know that they have a shorter leadway with me than how they see their sister interacting with me.
Yeah.
So no se sabe. There's no right or wrong answer to any of it. It's just I think we're all learning and trying to break away in a way. I think talked about certain cycles and certain things that were maybe not the best, right? But it's also different times.
No.
Yes, sir.
Um,
I was
I'm not
thinking
gonna
of that.
send my kid to go get tortillas at 2 p.m. to
Mhm.
whatever local market. Like that's what I was doing,
Mhm.
at the age of like 6, 7.
But it was
Um,
it was common, right? It was so common
pero it
and
was so
okay.
common.
No.
Yeah. And it's like, y si no
Mhm.
había tortillas en el mercado, mm, te subías a un visitaxi o caminabas las otras cuadras y llegabas a la otra tortillería y you made sure you got home with the tortillas.
Mhm.
Um, and similar in your case, Tank, that you talked about, like que tenían que ir por el agua no matter what time you wanted to go get that, but you had to go do it no matter if it was dark or not. Like now, it's different times. We don't. I wouldn't, feel comfortable tell my kid to go do that.
No.
Um, but even then, like trying to figure out what the right balance is, and trying to stay away from those things that seem a little bit harsher, and I guess trying to be a little bit more understanding. And then, but you guys raised a good question. Like, what are our kids gonna say when they grow up? Like, what
Yeah.
were their hard times? not being under electronic devices for more than 1 hour at a time. I don't know.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah.
the normal. That's the
Yeah.
norm now, right? That's the norm, and it's weird because again, yeah, we always talk about when we talked about parenting, we always say okay, not to blame our parents, blah blah blah. But back then, if I look at my mom's
That's our
situation,
reference point.
that is right. That's all we got. That's all we know. But if I look at my mom's perspective and I see the way she was raised, I understand why she wasn't very affectionate with us. I completely understand. And then coming from a different scenario where you and Miguel are the oldest, I'm the youngest, and I still feel like I still have some sort of feelings and the way my brother and my sister act, which is weird because I didn't get. Yes, my mom would beat us up or lo que sea, but I didn't get that hard of a beating like my brother and sister. And like the way they are, they both reflect each other. They grew up together, they get beat up together. Like it was them growing up together. I'm
Mm.
9 years apart from my brother and 10 years apart from my sister, but even then I still feel like there's some sort of like resemblance between me and them, which is weird because my mom with me, she was a lot more lenient, and maybe there was no the little I love you or this or that, but she was more lovable in her own way. Again, not maybe by words but by actions.
Mhm.
And I see that, and I do remember being, I don't know, 12, 13, and my sister, my siblings would kind of bug my mom about, oh well, he has it easy and he has this and he has that, and even though, yeah, I guess I had it easy compared to them because I don't know their story the way they lived it. I only heard of it and I know about it, but I really don't know how they felt. And it's weird that I still show that resemblance, like so the way sometimes the way they act or the way they are, I see it, and it's in me as well. So it's weird, dude, because again, me being the youngest and not having such a strict parent, because don't get me wrong, Chava, he's been around, and I appreciate him for sticking around with my mom, but my mom's really the one that kind of like fully on raised me. Again, I'm not giving Chava, I give him his credit and stuff, but it was they I feel like they're a mirror, literally, like they're the same type of people, like the way they express
Mm.
themselves, the way they are. So it's just, again, it's weird how I still resemblance my siblings, and they got the hardest stick of, the end of the stick.
I mean,
So
like, it happens. Like I know. So I obviously there's a huge difference between me and Aaron, but I know con like Cassie's
the
family.
age gap.
Yes, like with between Cassie and her youngest brother, there's about like a 8, 9, 10 year difference. And I mean, like, like I've been in the rooms where Cassie and su otro hermano, they'll tell her mom like, oh, pues like Chancho, like he had it easy, he didn't have to do as much chores, no se lo chingaban tan often. There was more patience for him. And their mom's like, pero es que pues, con ustedes aprendí, y ya con él I knew how to be better. Like I never meant to, it's just I didn't know how to be a mom. I was young, inexperienced, and once you get a little bit of experience, you become better. But and to them, it's like now, whoop his ass like you whooped ours. Like whoop his ass right now as a grown ass man, right?
What do you
And
think? What do you think they take it to heart, though?
uh, I think so. I don't think they take it to heart, but I think for being the older ones, you kind of get you're like the test sandbox
Yeah, 100%.
experiment, no, like donde
Yeah.
con unos con el que van aprendiendo, right? So like there is more ass whoopings because the patience just isn't there, right?
Hmm.
And especially as in my case, I completely understand why I was getting my ass whooped. I think if anything, like Tenko would probably tell you, like, you know what, me got his ass whooped a lot, but he deserved it because I was very hyperactive, very like
He deserved it.
inquieto, like dude, like it was.
I was whooping his ass, my parents.
Oh, see, no, I,
I was
I
holding
thought
him
like
back.
whoop his ass, dad, whoop his
Yeah.
ass, mom, whoop him,
Que
like
ya se
let me
cansaron, ahora me toca a mí, ¿no?
let me get a lick in there, no, like
Yo también le tengo ganas, ¿no? Get him tired first. Get him tired first. I don't want him swinging back, no?
Easy, dude.
Pero yeah, te digo, like and I think from there it's like when you see your siblings growing up differently, part of you is like, you know what, I'm glad, I'm happy, I'm happy that they're not growing up the way I did. But then part of you is like, you know what, like it would have been nice to experience this, it would have been nice to have
I see that.
and it goes with every. It doesn't just mean ass whoopings, but like for us, we see my dad spoil Aaron a lot more than what he spoiled us. Not that he didn't spoil us, but it's such easy and simple things. For example, like we had to wait a week to get like McDonald's, and that's si nos portábamos bien, if our grades were good and stuff like that. Versus now, it's like, the kid doesn't want to eat, so it's like, let me go get a McDonald's, no va a comer nada, right? So it's very drastic changes. And it's one of those, like, it would have been nice for us to have this, and it would have been nice for us to be able to experience this, but it's kind of like one of those, like, happy he's able to, pero pues hubiera estado chido también, ¿no?
I understand.
And touching on that a little bit, right? And I said, and it's just timely, just again, because I just had these conversations with Carlo over the weekend. It also didn't help that we were feeling sick and we ended up staying home the whole weekend, so we had a lot of time to talk. Pero
So
yeah, no.
What you doing
So
tomorrow,
for
no?
example, where are you gonna watch a game at? Pero so for example, right, like a big piece was like, what are we doing wrong, or what can we do better to make sure that the kids are appreciating what we do, because we feel like they take things for granted, right? Miguel just talked about like McDonald's. Like McDonald's was a huge treat, like going out to a fast food restaurant or whatever. um and now it's like it happens probably once a week, if not more than that. And an example that Carla gave me is that her growing up, she has, through it's her and two younger sisters. So like, oh, my parents will sometimes buy us a candy, and if it was a chocolate bar or whatever, like they would make us split it in three,
Mhm.
and we were happy and grateful. And if I was to tell the kids like, oh, I have a surprise for you, and it's like a candy or something, they'll be like, oh, okay, sure. They
Mhm.
would expect the surprise to be something bigger than a piece of candy.
Like a piece of candy, yeah.
They do.
And it's like we're not even considering the fact that, right, it's their individual candy. It's like they don't have to split one,
Yeah.
but
It's
but I
their
told her,
favorite
I'm like,
each, like their each favorite
yeah,
candy.
or it could, yeah. And what I told Carla was like, honestly, if you were to ask me like, hey, get them a candy, I would not just go and grab one. I would grab three of the same ones.
Mm.
It's not even in my mind to think
Really?
about getting one and making them split it,
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
right?
Individually, you'll get them their own.
Yes, because again, it's different times, and maybe that effort that our parents put into bringing us up, and whatever they had to do, put us in a better position to not have to think about making my kids split a candy bar.
Yeah.
And I'm like, think about it. I told her, I'm like, think about it. Like, we are expecting them to be like super thankful for this one candy, right? They might not show it, but they also show things in a different way.
Yes.
And so, for example, like Emma could be in the middle of dinner or lunch, and she'll randomly get up and go give Carla a hug, or will give me a hug,
Like a
and we'll
thank
just
you.
say like, "Oh, I love you." I'm like, that's her way of being grateful for
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Ivan, like being a boy, he's very comfortable with, saying like, I love my mom, I love my dad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do remember a lot of my infant years, but I don't remember just getting up and randomly doing those type of things,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? Like, but that's their way of showing gratitude to us in different ways.
Yeah. I was gonna say, first of all, we need to have Rome's brain studied, porque I don't think there's one single person that remembers so much about their childhood
This motherfucker has
as
should have
Romero,
memory,
dude. Like, se acuerda haber el segundo día después de haber nacido, ¿no? Ya se acuerda, like, cuando nació, me acuerdo el doctor.
Like,
I don't know
la
if it's
cama,
a
¿no?
good thing or a bad thing, dude. It could just be all
he
influenced by trauma.
He has put me in situations that I do not remember being in. He's like, I swear to God, it was you. I was like, hey, I believe him, right? Because I don't think he would lie, but he might be lying, dude. And I'm just believing.
¿Se acuerda de la nalgada que el doctor le dio, no? Al nacer.
Sí,
Dude, I think I also feel like a lot of the times is the expectations that we have because that's the way we're brought up, right?
Because we
What you
were
were saying.
expected to.
Yeah, yeah. But I remember, my mom, as Romero knows, my mom would cook the breakfast every Saturday and Sunday, Friday possibly también. It was
Los
salchicha
huevitos
con
con
huevo.
salchicha. Ah,
Dude,
huevo.
it was expected. I swear to God, and I was so used to it, and it was so normal at the house that when that I'm older and Romero brings it up, I was like, damn, that was weird. Like was it that kind of crazy? And I remember eating whatever was at the house. That's what we were gonna eat. Like there was no ifs or buts, right? Like,
Yeah.
that was what you're gonna eat, and if it was there tomorrow, we were gonna eat that tomorrow. It was normal for me, and
Yeah.
that's why it's such a kind of like we started off the conversation was like different times, different this, different that. And I feel like now I'm expected, like, I don't know why I'm expecting for them to be like, oh, there's food from yesterday. Yeah, serve me some. Like, and they're not like that. Sometimes I'm like, why are we going to buy them food? Like, there's food at home. But that was the way I was brought up. And I'm expecting for them, which is, it's bad now that I'm thinking about it, for them to feel the same fucking way. Honestly, I'm honest, dude.
We,
I thought
we
like,
get
no,
the typical, no? La hay frijoles en la casa.
Swear to God, dude.
Yeah.
And I was happy with it. I was okay with it. I saw nothing wrong in my life.
I was gonna say,
That salchicha with
Because we
huevo, dude,
didn't.
Romero
say-
brought it up just like randomly after some time.
dude, I
What
was
was
like,
Yeah, con huevo, sin fork or spoons, dude. Con
Tortilla,
tortilla,
¿no?
tortillazo, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, tortilla.
Pero eso sí,
Bien a
you
la-
couldn't drink anything until you finished.
Ahora,
that
Dude, I
is
still do
wild. Dude.
I still do. Yeah.
I know, he still does that. I know.
Yeah. People call me out on it recently. Maybe like I don't know if it was Christmas or New Year's or it was one of the holidays. They're like, dude, I just find it so fucking crazy that you don't drink while you're eating. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, bro, I saw you have like a couple spoons, blah blah blah, and you're still not drinking. It's like, bro, I finished my beer already. I was like, oh shit, this is like I'm not conscious about it. I don't do it on purpose. It just that was the way I was.
Ahí tiene el tamal atorado aquí, ¿no?
Mira.
Ya toma algo.
Mira,
yo
tío,
no voy.
Me ven
Ahí está
brincando,
Johnny
¿no?
Bueno, like, llórate, ya tómate un vaso de agua o algo.
No,
todavía
todavía
estoy
acabo.
bien, you know. Hasta que acabe. It's a prize, ¿no?
Ahora, ¿por qué está brincando Jonathan? No, it's like, güey, sí, what the fuck's wrong with them, no? Nada, sigan.
But what was I gonna say? What two things? I know one, el dicho, like a veces los papás they get too caught up on giving their kids what they didn't have. And this kind of goes back to that, like we didn't have McDonald's growing up every time que teníamos hambre. So it's like, sabes que like yo no tuve eso, so like se lo quiero dar a mis hijos, Y another thing was just touching on the whole the difference between your parents as parents and now as grandparents. Una cosa que me dijo like my mom, because we were talking about this like ya tiene a while, and she's like, you know what, like the way she sees it is like my job as a mom is different as my job as a grandma. She's like, my job as a mom was to raise you guys and teach you guys right from wrong. And she's like, and as a grandma, I expect Miguel, like to be that person to teach them right from wrong, to discipline them y todo eso. And she's like, and because of that, I can just kind of like lay back and play my part as a grandma and,
That's fair.
like spoil, like spoil her, in this case, Chiquis,
Mhm.
And like she did mention though, like, she's like, just like your grandparents spoiled you in some sort of way compared to like, porque like, por ejemplo, like my grandpa, from my dad's side, like he knew that Miguel liked cajeta, so siempre le traía cajeta. And like he knew that I like at that time I really liked like the jelly sandwiches, so he would like always have jelly around. And like Omar loved chocolate con pan, so like he would go downstairs, he compraba pan, y le decía a mi abuelita que le hiciera un chocolate a Omar, or like to all of us, and that was his way of spoiling us,
Yeah.
Y so she's like, like you guys had that, maybe not to the extent that, like now
Las
Chiquis has it,
posibilidades.
right?
Mhm.
She's like, but in some sort of way, you guys had that as well,
That's a good point, dude. Romero, speaking of that, obviously you grew up with your grandparents. how do you feel it was different from maybe them raising your mom, or even now maybe your grandma now with your dad, and then the way they treated you guys as grandkids?
So with my maternal grandparents, right? My mom's parents, I grew up with them. Um, and I mean, I just think that they were very genuine as people. Like they were just very honest all the time, and like not the grosero honest. Like they were very caring, and I mean that's I feel like I picked up more on like on their personalities and how they handled a lot of things. Like that I picked up on as a person. And I think towards my mom and my uncle, like I think they did the same. Like they were very consistent throughout. Now on my dad's side, I know my and my dad will talk about it all the time. Like it was like consistent chingas and regaños, and like he grew up with that. But my dad was not. He was definitely he didn't bring that to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it also like I always think that my childhood was without my dad, but in reality, my dad wasn't in my life for like 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So from the age 2 and 3, or 1, 2, and 3, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, if you were asking, like I didn't grow up with a dad, which is weird to say. And I feel like I grew up a lot in those years, and he wasn't there. Um, but yeah, like I think he it was like he was strict and he had expectations, but he never brought his the way he was raised. He never brought that to me or my siblings.
But
Um,
did you see a difference between how your grandparents would treat you? For example, you hear stories about your grandparents, how they treat your parents, right?
mhm.
And like, would you feel a difference of them spoiling you or your siblings versus what they would spoil your parents?
Yeah. Well, the relationship was different, right? Like my brother, my sister, my cousins, because I was the only kind of grandson that grew up with my grandparents, with my mom's parents. Um, they're always like, oh, like he's the favorite, and at the end of the day, I'm the oldest, even with my cousins, right? So they're like, they they joke around and they're like basically saying, they always say, I'm Jesus Christ, I could never do anything wrong. Um, like in the group chats, like they'll move my name and call me
Tank's
Bebe
laugh just
Jesus.
kind of threw me off a bit.
Um, because my grandparents would always speak so highly of me, right? And they didn't treat them any different, but whenever they would express themselves about me, like I was like to them like, oh, siempre era bien portado, siempre muy respetuoso, muy like they would always talk me up, and I'm like, what can I say? I'm nearly perfect, guys.
I'm
Like
the shit, no? Better
Listen, you've heard.
recognize,
um,
grandma, no?
I start Romero. No, have you heard of Jesus Christ? Well, you say Romerito Christ. No?
To be fair, you were eating Raisin Brans at like 4 or 5 years, dude, and I believe it, dude.
for the memory.
It's good.
For real,
Pero
man, memories.
yeah,
That's
no,
tough.
and with my dad's you know mom, my grandma is like I I didn't really grow up with her. I met her until I was like 8 years old. And we had a nice relationship, but it wasn't like I'm gonna spoil you. Like she definitely was not, you
It's
know,
a 360
what I
también
was used
enfocado
to. Yeah.
a tu
Um,
mom's mom.
yeah, she was caring, but not very expressive. Like I just knew that
Mm.
was my grandma, and I knew that how I was raised is like, well, you respect her, and that's what it is.
Mhm.
And she's definitely like I do see her like super loving with my kids,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I do see that change where she's feels more comfortable and to express herself towards them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I do see that difference, but it's not too big of a difference.
I mean, I think part of it. You do think part of it is that, like, one thing is for them to be like, "Oh, that's my grandson," and then one thing is to be, "That's my is get me." Would it be like bisnieto?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great
Una
grand.
cosa es mi
Sí.
nieto, otra es mi bisnieto. So, like, I think just being able to meet your great
Oh,
grandchildren is
yeah.
huge, dude.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
Yeah, and that was, I mean, for me, like, um having kids at the age I had kids, and I mean, I wasn't like super young or teenage dad or anything, but I think I talked about it, like, no, like I talked about it, like, where it's like, I don't know when I'm gonna have kids, but I wanted to have kids before my grandparents passed away. Like, I wanted them to
Mhm.
meet them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Itzel was the only one that was able to meet them, and I mean, that's okay, but, because it is like, I think I shared this before, is like, we'll ask Emma, like, "Oh, do you know who Yolis was?" That's what we call my grandma, and once she's like, "Oh, it's the old lady in the picture," right? And it's
Mm,
like, you recognize who she is, but you have no idea who she is,
right.
Yeah.
right? And we can share stories, but there's never gonna be that
Oh, hell
same
no.
connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, never.
Um,
Never.
No.
Have you guys caught yourself, or and I'm asking everybody, including Tank, have you guys ever caught yourself telling your kids something your parents used to tell you, and that you guys hated how natural that sounded?
Uh,
Yeah. Um, I guess
If
when we
you
caught up,
remember if you remember something that you said, they're like, "Fuck, my dad or my mom just say that," and it wasn't okay. If you don't mind sharing, dude, because soy un poquito
yeah,
metiche.
nomás poquitito, ¿no?
wait, a few episodes, weren't you saying que no eres metiche, dude?
No soy
Sí, sí.
chismoso, dude. Chismoso.
Oh,
Oh.
so metiche sí chismoso, no, got it.
Metiche para el tea, like right now that we're talking. Pero ya de ahí, after this conversation, dude, I'm not gonna ask him again, dude.
He's a tea sipper, dude, not a.
There you go.
No, tea spreader, no?
You see. No, pero like, como dijo kind of like Romero, like, the whole typical like, oh, porque yo digo, like when I'll tell her like, oh, hey, do this, like, pero por qué? It's like, oh, because I said so, like, que me agarró de malas or whatever, and then it was like, fuck, like, it's the,
Tu conciencia, no? Like,
yeah,
fuck.
dude. So like for me, my thing was always like, um, siempre I would try to like talk to her after the fact, porque we como dijimos, like we never had that where it's like it was like for us it was like, oh, porque yo te dije, and that's it. And like you never had like mijo, es que tienes que ver que this and that.
The
And
why.
because of that, yeah, like I always like I remember when I was a kid that used to piss me off because like, oh, like it's like more so because it's like no, like I genuinely want to know like why, like or whatever.
I'm not challenging you. I just want to understand.
Right.
But
Yes,
it would sound like a challenge to your parents, I'm
Yeah.
assuming.
right, yeah. Yes, so yeah, like I would kind of like go in and be like, hey, chiquis, like it's the reason why is this and that. Yes, he like kind of like try to get her to understand and um just give her that explanation that I felt like we always wanted, Yes, but yeah, like I definitely caught myself like saying something like that a
Okay.
few times. Yeah.
Miguel?
Yeah. Digo, like as Chiki was younger, definitely. Now that she's gotten a little bit older, not so much. And like I was talking to Cassie about this, and I have a previous whole conversation with her before I ever jump on, just because I feel like I have a lot to unpack before I get on some episodes, like talking about this, and Take will understand. Um, so the reason why is so Chiquis is 18 going on 19, right? She'll turn 19 by the end of this year, the end of this month. And to be honest, me and Tank were parented up to a certain age. I feel like when
Oh, that's a
my
great
parents
point.
when my parents got divorced and when my mom left, my dad was too busy working. He wasn't able to parent and work and provide and everything. And then it was a very messy divorce. I mean, that happened. So because of that, we almost had to raise ourselves since, like, let's see, I think I was like 14 and Tank was 12, dude. So and Omar was 10 pretty much. So like we kind of looked after each other, but then eventually I got busy when the shit I was all the bullshit I was in, and Tank had to be the one that kind of stepped up and took care of Omar until Omar was kind of old enough to take care of himself. So now with Chiquis is it's a lot of
Gracias, porque todo eso nos dejó muchos daytimes, muchachos. Les agradezco de corazón.
it was a lot of so now that Chiquis is 19, right? It's like like Cassie's like, what, my mom would have done this, my mom would have done that. And I think of like, well, my parents would have done this, but that's when I was like 10, 11, 12, as Yadek 14 and on. I feel like they, not saying that they were like completely absent, it's just they were too busy in everything that they
Yeah.
were doing,
Mhm.
so that they couldn't really parent us. So I'm like, dealing with a teenager is uncharted territory, because I didn't have anybody that could really guide me through it. So it's more like I lived it and I understood my mistakes, and I'm trying to explain it to her. And it's very complicated because Cassie did have that. She did have
Mhm.
her mom and her dad that, even until now, they still parent her. A los 33 años, they still parent her, right? And what's it called? So it is different. It is kind of getting used to it. And como like the whole episode, like I think part of it, I am learning to repair myself,
Mhm.
because I didn't have that. So now I'm looking at a lens of like, like for example, Chiquis is like, she spends a lot of time with her friends, goes out a lot. Like school is like, I was just, her grades started dropping. Mind you, I did that, but I had nobody to really tell me like, hey, you're fucking up. These are the consequences. Like I
Stop
didn't have anybody like
smelling the
that. Yeah.
gas.
Yeah. Stop
I
smelling
told you.
gas.
I told you to
Stop
stop
smelling
fucking up, dude.
gasoline. Stop
I
throwing
told you to
gang
fucking up,
signs
dude.
and driving away. Like
That was me.
you
Who
know
told me that?
stuff like that. Pero like I didn't have anybody que me dijera eso. So now I have to be the one that tells somebody else. And now I sit here and I'm like, damn, all the shit that I did. Um, like I have
Mhm.
to like kind of learn from that myself. And I'm telling you, like Tank will agree, because Tank was even younger than I was, and he had to obviously take care of Omar first, and then afterwards, I was a young dad, and when I got busy with work, and especially after like my separation, what's it called? Tank had to kind of step up as well to help me raise Chiquis. So, and he was what, like 18, 19, pretty much stepping into like a, like, what, Chiqui's mom is gone. We have her full time. We have to raise her, right? And I need to like lean on you for help. So I put both my brothers in a tough spot, which again, we have the parenting stopped for us at a certain age, so we had to grow up as we're parenting.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's crazy, dude. Crazy ass point that you made.
Yeah, that shit blew my mind too. Like, at what point did your parents stop parenting? Right? Like, um, because as we talked, that I'm the oldest, is like, and I shared this before. In the, like, the family videos that we do have, like when I show up, it's me in the background changing somebody's diaper or making mamilas for my siblings. Um, what, my sister and I are 9 years apart. Me and my brother are 10. Um, so yeah, I never thought about like when did they stop parenting, and then it's not that I raised myself, but I became a co-parent with them
Hmm.
to raise
Mm,
my siblings. Right, like they relied. I was the built-in babysitter. I was the one that was there just to make sure that they didn't fucking get run over by a car or whatever, because they were both at work. Um, so that's an interesting point too. Like, at what point do you start? Because I've always said, like, I learned how to. At least I wanted to think that I learned how to parent with my siblings. Like, but at the same time, like, I also, that's where I struggle to, like, to on the other side. It took me years to figure out how to be a sibling, how to be a brother to them,
Hmm.
versus a co-parent.
Mm,
mm,
Yeah, you had to break that cycle with them as well.
yeah.
And I
Oh,
think I'm still working through that. Like, as much as I love them and we get along great. Um, I look at other siblings, and the relationship that they have, and it's like, I'm not sure if we have that because I was a co-parent for so long.
mm.
Hmm.
I'm just trying to picture like, Está Romeo with his brothers.
Fucking
with
little
his
Romero, dude,
brother.
with a fucking mushroom haircut, dude. Ahí haciendo mamilas, dude.
Con
Well, I was gonna say-
una towel on his head, ¿no? Ahí, like,
Just out of the
cuidando,
shower.
yeah, like fucking like
Tu mandil, you know, making the bottle.
rocking one to sleep mientras está like ahí aspirando también,
Making
you know,
fast.
like,
Dude, imagine at a family party, dude. Like Alan's drinking a beer, Romero goes to smacks it out of his hands, like, no, estás muy chiquito para tomar alcohol, no. And Alan's like, dude, I'm in my 20s already, dude. What the fuck?
25, dude. What the fuck? Dude, another thing I was thinking about it earlier, but then kind of Miguel brought it up again to what I was thinking earlier, is that before Miguel, when eventually, well, at least with me, the way I remember Miguel, we used to hang out a lot.
La gasolina or what, dude?
The gasolina, we played the gasolina de Yankee a lot, and then we would hang out, and then randomly we stopped hanging out, not because we stopped talking to each other, because he had other responsibilities that he had to attend, right? And then as a friend, he has been my friend that he's had a kid at a young age. So yeah, I remember, and we have pictures of Chiquis being super tiny, hanging out with all of us, and we continue hanging out with her and everything. So we, as much as always, I'm gonna give Tank credit for raising Chiquis. Like, she was always around, and we were able to look after her, and and she knew that she had people that loved her. But back then, even though Miguel could have came to me and I would have given him an advice, right? I wasn't a parent. I was a friend. And I would have given him the best advice I could at that moment. Nowadays, it's just a little bit different, right? It's different because now not only does TikTok serve for like fake news, good news, whatever it might be, right? But then you have the little TikToks that will come up as like, oh, well, stop wasting fucking time, like they'll give you some sort of advice. It's a little bit of
Makes you think a little bit.
makes you think. They give you advice about, it's like, maybe you're doing this wrong, or maybe that, or maybe this, and it's just every now and then things come up, and I'll listen. I'll honestly sit there and listen and try to reflect on how I could become a better, not only a better father, but a better person, a better husband, a better everything. And this year, that's my main thing. I've said it before, and I know I said that I was going to focus on me and I was going to be more grateful, which was last year. And I think I'm in that stage where I am grateful for the little things that I have. But this year, I want to be a better dad. And I'm really focusing on it. I know we're 12 days in, but I feel like I've been having like a little good streak on it. Especially with the little expressing that I love them and stuff like that. Because I don't know why it's hard for me. I question myself about it. And I can't sit here and tell you a reason why it's hard for me, which I adore them. But I just sometimes don't tell them, like in this case, like my girl would. But yeah, times are different. Social media's around, right? And maybe for them, when they're parents and they're they have their own kids, maybe all the social media is gonna be something way bigger and
yeah, robot nannies or something, dude.
Whatever the fuck, dude. I mean, at this
Robot
point,
nannies. I need one today.
I was looking on Google for one. No?
But we got is the Roomba, dude.
Oh,
I mean,
dude,
they do have a robot that you can buy, and it is currently.
That one doesn't serve us in any, dude. It
well, it's not a nanny, but it is controlled through somebody via remote control, via like, I don't know, satellites and all this shit. And it's somebody that does like basic house chores for you. And what their promise is that as their intelligence progresses, that eventually it'll get to the point where it'll be a full centennial being, and it will no longer need a human to be controlling this robot.
Imagine the precision on that chancla throw, dude.
Dude,
over the years, it's going to be accurate as fuck, dude.
It's going to curve, and all of a sudden, no.
Chanfle todo,
yeah, dude. I do feel like
Robert or Roberto Carlos.
I do feel like this conversation, and I'm hoping that you guys agree, has maybe a part 2, because there's still a lot of questions that we have on the agenda that we were supposed to ask, but we got into each other's feelings too much that we did not get a chance to actually ask. So if you guys are down with it, dude, I'll be down for like a part 2, and by part 2. If anybody's listening, want to share a little trauma, or even that question that we had asked about. Wait, hold on. Maybe that question that we had asked about: have you heard your parents come out of your own mouth to your kids, or maybe to your, like Tank in this case, to your nieces and nephews? Let us know, dude. That'd be cool to know other people's perspectives. Not to judge your parents, the way they raised you, and none of
Now,
that shit. Pero
here's a second part to that question, dude.
a ver.
For the grandparents, dude. Like, I know one time Cassie regañó a la chiquis,
We
and her
also
mom.
want Happy Meals, no?
No, like Cassie regañó a chiquis, right? And Cassie's mom's like, like, no, déjala, déjala. And Cassie's like, I am saying exactly what you told me one time. And Cassie's mom's like, yes, but I don't want you saying that anymore. So as a grandparent,
Damn.
when you hear your child saying stuff like that to your grandchild, how does it feel? Because I know that I've seen it from Cassie and even from my mom a few times, and my dad también, where like si digo algo que ellos me dijeron, they'll right away be like, hey, you don't say that. I'm like, that's how I was raised for like I don't know how many years. Like, yeah, but you don't say that to them. And I was like, what the hell? So
Dude,
that's the
I got
second part.
I got a backed up thing to that as a second part that he has to know.
A ver.
So
third part, no?
third part. So I have heard myself talk like my parents plenty of times, and there's times where, como dice Tank, you regret it. You're like, fuck, I shouldn't have said that. Blah blah blah. Where I'm living through now, and I say today, is the way I would talk to Tina when she was growing up is the same way she's talking to her sister today. So
Mm.
I don't blame her, right? I'm not sitting here and telling her don't talk to your sister like that, or every now and then I'll say that. But last time, like when I had a conversation with her about it, was like, hey, first of all, you're the sister. She's looking up to you in everything that you do. Like literally whatever Tina does, like she looks up to her and she's like, oh, I want to do this. I don't want to do that. Right. And then second of all, it's not right. We have to be more patient. And I tell her the way I'm talking to you, what I'm telling you, I'm telling myself the same advice. So I don't see it so much out of my mouth, but I see it out of her mouth. The way that I would talk to her, the way that I wanted her to be like, oh no, this has to be done because this, or whatever the hell I would say. She says it to her sister now, and she's just like, what? Like, she has a different reaction, right? Romero would say every child is different. So
Correct.
so Tina would be like, oh, okay, I'll do it, and she'll do it, no questions asked. She would get it done. My youngest, she was like, no, like, and then they'll get into a conflict, and it's like, hey, guys, relax, stop, what's going on? And then we'll get in between, and then I'm like, fuck, like, she's talking to her the way I would talk to her. So it's tough, dude. It's tough that I hear me through her, and not saying, and I told Tina plenty of times, like, if I've ever been strict or rough or any possible way, she'll tell you, like, I've said it before, like, I want you to be better than I was. I got out of my house, didn't know how to fucking wash clothes, didn't know how to do this, didn't know how to do that. I was like, thankfully, you're doing a lot more than what at your age, you're doing a lot more than I ever knew when I was your age. So I'm glad I got her to do, like, she does chores, she washes her own clothes, like she handles her own. So she's independent in that sense, which I never was. I was never independent like that. So, but yeah, we'll leave that for part 3 or 4, the Hemos Tank.
Oh,
damn.
Part
3.5, no?
3.5.
Well, we first gotta get part 2 before we get to 4 and 5. Pero
Yeah. Like,
I do have a closing to the episode.
a ver,
go ahead.
échatelo. No, échatelo.
No, for the closing of the episode, right? So I wanted to just individually and just ask you guys, as we close out this episode, like, Tank, por favor, reconoce a tus hijos.
Recognize.
No,
Yeah.
no. No, I mean, we, like I said, we talked about this in Tank being, a parental figure to Chiquis.
A co-parent, as you said.
Right. So, like, I'll ask Tank, and I'm gonna go around. So, Tank, what is one thing that you feel that you would be unlearning as a parent based on what you know now?
Unlearning?
Yeah, like things that, like, you're like, I did this, whether I was with Chiquis or just like things that as a parent you would feel like I shouldn't be doing that anymore.
I think definitely having more patience. I feel like ¿cómo se llama? My dad especially, his level is like very thin, and I would see myself. That would be another thing. Like I would see myself kind of just losing patience. Y and then like reflecting on it, and I was like, damn, like igual, like fuck, like I fucked up, or like like I should have, this, or like le grité for no reason, really. Y so I think definitely that's one thing I would, I guess, learn and unlearn being impatient.
Mm-hmm. Miguel.
Miguel. No, Johnny boy, like leave me to the end, no?
You see, though? Let me piggyback off everybody's answers.
I don't know if I should laugh now or after.
That means he
Is this
doesn't
a-
understand.
is this a riddle,
guys.
no?
It's a riddle. Miguel.
Yeah,
One thing you're proud of. One thing that you're proud of. One thing that you're proud of that you're currently changing is what?
Proud of that you're currently changing.
Como que cambió la pregunta, ¿no?
Sí, ¿verdad? I was like, ya estaba bien stuck to one. Y ahora...
One thing that you're proud
Johnny
of
Boy's like-
changing as a parent.
Like, shit.
Johnny Boy's like, oh shit. He's like,
Hopefully he asked me something.
Everybody has one question.
Oh, everybody has one question. Okay, so I'm safe.
Johnny Boy was like, wait, hold on.
Wedding, dude.
He was calculating like it does not sound the same, dude. What's going on?
Computing, no? Computing.
I log off, no?
It kicks the power cord, no? Like, oh, I lost power again.
My fucking power cord, dude. I can't kick it. Shut up, dude. It's gonna happen.
I mean, one thing I'm doing as a parent that I am proud of.
That you're
Of changing.
proud of changing. Mhm.
Proud of changing or proud of que estoy cambiando?
¿Qué estás cambiando?
En español o en inglés, dude, como
Oh,
quieras.
okay. Sorry,
Same thing, ¿no?
Es la misma
sorry.
pregunta,
Sorry.
güey, ¿no?
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm not that lost then. Okay, I'm good. High five, dude.
Johnny Boy, you know what? Let me take that question real quick. ¿no?
I got it.
I think one thing that I am changing is
That you're proud of, dude. Don't forget, eh?
that I'm proud of is I am changing the mindset of family is family no matter what. I think that as a little kid, you were around family members that either would, pues te trataban un poquito mal, or they were like, abusive, or like in any manner, right? In any manner of the sense, right? And our parents were like, oh, pero es tu tía, or es tu abuelito, or es tu, whatever, and it was okay. You had to deal with it. I think one thing that I'm learning is to tell chiquis that is not okay, right? If like if those people are your family members, but they are either hurting you or doing something, you don't have to have them in your life. And if you do, you don't. You could. One thing is enseñar respeto, and another thing is being like, I forgive you, or like, like I want to be completely cool with you. Because at the end of the day, if it comes from her to be like, what, I'm gonna forgive this person, or forgive that person, or forgive X, Y, Z, it should be from her, and it shouldn't be me forcing them. Unlike, for example, my parents that would have done that for me. They would have been like, sabes que no importa que hayan hecho esto, tío, or or this or that. So that's one thing, and it's tough, dude. It's very tough, and we joke around about like, oh well, Tank is a co-parent, dude. I asked Tank till today. I'll still call him over to the house, be like, hey, dude, we need to have a family meeting, and it'll be Tank, me, and Cassie sitting down with Chiquis to talk to her. So like the whole co-parenting has not ended for Tank, dude. This is a lifetime agreement, dude. Like that boy is
like,
stuck
fuck, she
in
can
this
turn
for
18
life,
and
dude.
still stuck, no?
Yeah, you see, the Tank like, oh,
It's worse than child support, no?
That shit just
like-
paid my dues, no?
he didn't notice when cuando estaba dormido, dude. Agarré su marita and I signed an extension after 18, dude. So like, no, well, ya
25
nomás me
more.
falta Me falta poner una camisa, no?
Y
Like,
sí es lo
adding
que
the
decía,
amount of
dude.
years, dude. You know, like just standing there. No?
Renewed.
You see the renewal contract, dude.
Okay, here comes that question, boys. Hopefully, it's a,
No trick questions
sure?
for you, Johnny
you
boy.
sure? Dude?
Yeah.
Should I pay attention? or-
One promise that you're making your kids is what?
That, dude, to be more affectionate, because I needed that. I know I needed that. I accept it now as I'm an adult, and I'm getting it, which is weird, right? I'm an adult, and I didn't get it when I was younger, and I think, well, obviously, you still haven't met my dad, but ever since meeting my dad, that motherfucker tells you he loves you, he adores you, he's all about lovey-dovey, dude. He's all about that. And I know that time when we had that party, you weren't able to come, but I wish you would have met him, and you'd be like, damn, like he's a cool people, he's super cool people. But it was just one of those things. He's very affectionate. He's not shy to tell you how much he loves you and adores you, and he shows that to my kids, dude. Which again, I've never got that. I'm a little jealous. I'm not gonna lie, in a good way, in a good jealous, way. But I want that. I want to be able to maybe not fully go out like him, because he kind of exaggerates a little bit. But I swear to God, dude, he exaggerates a little bit. Well, again, I'm not used to it. Wait, I'm not used to it. I'm not
Johnny
used to it.
Boy's like,
Right.
one of those little Oscar awards, like, oh, you're just taking it already, no?
Yeah, dude, I'm not used to it. So even then, when we first met, and after so many years, it was just weird, dude. Like the way he would talk about me, like it was just weird. And I was like, you don't even know me, but and I said that before in the podcast. I was like, we don't know each other because even though yes, he's my dad and everything, I haven't seen him in many years, so I don't know how he is. He does not know how I am. So when we first met, we clicked, and it was just like normal, But yeah, I want that. I want to be. Damn, dude, that was an easy ass question. Dude. Thanks.
Ooh.
I don't want another one, dude. That's it.
Johnny Boy's like,
You
oh,
were
you know
asking
what?
for
Like,
it, dude.
he's gonna be like, can we have that energy in this podcast where
Right?
like
Where it's easy,
it's
we can
easy,
communicate.
like
I
gotta
know
think
in
so much.
college, like
What about you, Romero?
all right, what's your question, Romero, for yourself, dude? Because you said one for each.
I don't have.
No,
I don't
he
have
doesn't-
a
he
question
doesn't
for
have one.
myself.
Don't worry, dude. Or Johnny Boy got you, dude.
What the fuck? Okay.
Give him a hard one, no?
We don't.
Give him a
We're
riddle.
past the 1 hour mark. I don't know.
No, dude, yeah, you
está bien,
deserve
dude,
it.
está bien,
You
dude.
deserve it, dude. If you could take something the way your grandparents raised you, what would that be to show to your kids? Right, because you say that you grew up with your grandparents, you grabbed a lot of that personality from your grandparents, and you feel that a lot of you is because of them. So if there was only one thing that you could inflict in your kids and like religiously like show them or teach them or whatever it was from your grandparents, what would it be?
I gave you an easy one, dude. You didn't have to go that far, dude.
Romo ahorita is kicking the cable también, ¿no? A ver
I call a friend, no?
computadora, dude.
Okay, I'm plugging everything right now, dude. I think if I just strip everything down, like it really comes to like the advice that I would say, the thing that I would want them to carry along is to be honest and be kind. Like that's what I took away from them. Like honesty takes you a long way, and it doesn't cost you anything to be kind. That can look and take different shapes, different forms. It could look very different at all times, but at the end of the day, like as long as those intentions are led with honesty, and as a result is that you're showing kindness to somebody else, it would be that would tell me that I'm doing something right.
Okay.
That's good, dude. That's good.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Good question, Johnny Boy.
God damn, dude.
Good question.
From the top of the dome, yeah, Johnny Boy.
We all gotta start showing Johnny Boy more love and affection, dude, so he feels in a more safe environment. You know what? The Packers will do a very well job next year, dude. Next year, I believe in them, dude. And I hope that they keep LaFleur. That's his name, right? Because I know
Yeah,
that
they're trying to get rid of him.
Yeah, like I hope they keep him. I understand
really
there
do
was,
too.
there was some issues, but like I think he does a good job, and like I'm hoping that the Packers have a good season 2026, dude. For you, dude.
I don't,
Just for
I
you.
don't, I don't know if you mean it or not.
No.
knowing you.
Just for you, dude. Just for you. Right
Okay.
now is the moment where we're all trying to give you love and affection, dude. So just right now. Tomorrow I'll be like, fuck the Packers, but for right now, dude, like, just for you.
Let me take it then. I'll accept it. You want to give me a love and affection tank or no? Fuck me. Just a question, dude. It's just a question. It's your time.
Déjame también me río. No.
You're kicking the fucking power cord, no?
Sí.
Bye, guys.
It's a nice show you got, dude.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
So we landed on a potential part 2 of this, maybe somewhere down the road, maybe next episode, not sure. But as we get there, we know that the parenting journey is not easy. The co-parenting journey is not easy. Doesn't end at 18, Tank. So don't call it quits. Chiquis needs you. Miguel needs you. But at the end of the day, the only difference, and I guess this is not against our parents. This is not against how we were raised, but we might not be perfect because we are trying to figure it out. But what I do know that is different. Again, no shame on how we were raised, but we might not be perfect parents, but we're present parents and we're there. And that's, again, different times. Our parents had to do other things and
Right.
that stopped them from being there at assemblies, at games, at whatever. But I know that the way our lives have shaped up to be, it gives us the opportunity to be present for our kids.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Cheers to that, dude. Even though Tank didn't care about us,
Ya me la acabé.
serve yourself another one, then your mother.
Oh, boy.
Bob and touches. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This is Todos Toman podcast. Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe at. Well, I don't know why I always forget that, dude. I don't know if it's Todos Toman pod. No. That Todos Toman podcast or pod, but it's the same thing. It leads to the same way, right?
We might be downsizing on some domains, so
From other jokes to get the domain right, no.
TodosTomanPodcast.com. Since it's still up here in the prompt, dude. Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at possibly next week Todos Toman pod. We don't know yet. Oh, that's not a domain, right? That's not
a domain.
That's a handle.
Just a handle, dude.
My bad, dude. That was a riddle. For sure. For sure, dude. You should have told me.
It's all right, dude. It's all right. We I read it the same way, Johnny boy.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, okay, dude. Bye, chicos. Part 2 coming soon.
Shout out to our sponsor this week, milpamilpa.com. Make sure you check them out.
I would
They're
have
Get your
releasing
candles, get your soaps, get your body scrub.
They're releasing
bad
their
bombs.
Valentine's.
I wish I knew. Valentine's
It's coming. It's coming your way.
The mailman ahorita ya se bañó, dude.
Es lo que
Ahorita
dice,
huele
when the
bien,
mailman
¿no?
gets there, dude, ahí como que le hace una...
Smell him, no?
Sí,
Sniff
güey.
him a little bit.
Yeah, just sniff them a little bit, just like.
Hey, good to see you. Good morning, you know? Wow, I'll let him know. I'm going to let him know to drop it off at my door, dude.
Ooh.
Make sure it's sealed.
Oh, como he's gonna close it. You have to half used, no?
Half a soap, half everything.
That's coming your way, Johnny boy. It's on his way, but
take a bath on that, dude.
Appreciate it.
I've been waiting, dude. No me he bañado desde el año pasado, ¿no?
Oh, shit, perreal. Daytime all over again, dude.
Como they're gonna start playing this podcast at the clubs, no?
Stay with.
Okay, we didn't realize we had that on loop, no? Ahí nos vemos.
Todos.
Bye bye.